been using Onyx because pretty much all of Moab is featured trails.
Yeah.
So like you can just click on that trail, gives you the name, pictures. It's already mapped out for you. They've got the mileage and like expected or average time.
That's nice. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Dirt Drive Podcast. We have a tight crew today. We have Tom, Tommy, and Tim. Tommy's back for his third episode of the Dirt Drive Podcast.
I can't remember.
Who knows?
Just making background comments.
He's cute as hell, though.
Yeah, he is.
This week, we are planning a trip to Moab. We're officially going to Moab in
Yep.
May. We've got the Airbnb booked.
Yep.
We just trying to figure out the logistics now and who's coming and who's riding where and what vehicles we're bringing.
Yeah.
Tom's really the mastermind behind this.
Yeah.
So if Tom doesn't talk enough in every episode, this episode's going to be mostly Tom talking.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's not a whole lot to it. Well,
we're going out for the rock crawler event, Mob Moab.
Yeah, the Mob Moab 2024. It's Labor Day weekend. I don't know if anybody else that listens is planning going, oh boy, here we go. We're already starting with the core. Ow, Tommy. Oh, jeez.
I got some people that I've been talking to that are Westerners.
Okay.
That I'm trying to get to go, like Josh, Pat, the Badlands Good Times guys.
Yeah.
See if we can convince Ultra 4 Jones to go.
Yep.
Because I mean it's not close, but it's also like
closer.
It's like 6 hours from.
It's gonna be more than that to California.
So it's like 9 hours to California.
Yeah, I mean, depending on, I don't know exactly where Kevin is in Cali, but
I think he works for LA.
Look,
not LA, but like that. He's in that area.
I forget. It's Southern California, but it's like Southwest California. Yeah. What's it called? I want to say it was like 7-8 hours from Vegas to Moab.
Yeah, so it was
Vegas is another 5 to LA.
It's 3.
3?
Vegas is 3
yeah,
LA.
so you're still a good 12-hour drive.
How does that math that up?
3 plus 8 is 11.
It's 11, okay.
So depending on where you are.
I was still thinking it was more of 6, but I've also never done the drive from Vegas to
Moab. Because I mean, when we did it leaving SEMA, we dropped you off at the airport at like 6:30?
Yeah, I think so.
And we were sitting down for lunch by like 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish.
Okay. Yeah, so that's right in your time frame of 7-ish hours.
I mean, it's obviously closer than coming all the way to Virginia for any of our West Coast friends. Don't mind the coughing baby. He's a little congested that time of year. But yeah, it's the oh my goodness, you were yeah, I know. You're very distracting. You're distractingly cute.
He is. But yeah, to any of our West Coast listeners, if you want to
meet us in Moab, we will be there for an entire week.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Tommy, you can't have that. Sorry, buddy. I should find you a toy. Rusty, you want to grab one of his toys for me? That'd be great, dog. I'm like surrounded by the dog and the baby.
You're officially stuck.
I'm in full dad mode right now. But yeah, I mean, originally we were going to take our time driving across the country and do some sightseeing and everything, and then I was like, this is a waste of time.
No, we're gonna mob to Moab.
We should just absolutely bomb it across the country and spend as much time in Moab as possible.
Yeah.
I was talking to Martin at the shop yesterday, and he gave me like 3 more trails. And he's like, you have to do these trails.
Nice.
And I'm like, one of them's like probably an hour and a half south of Moab where you start.
Okay.
So I'm like, it's gonna be really hard logistically to
maybe we
it.
do our overnight trip that day. Do that for our overnight trip.
It's no. I mean, we easily could. Like the way I was looking at it, and I'm like,
because the way I'm thinking about it is if we're gonna drive an hour and a half down there.
Oh, we also may just not run that trail.
Okay, but yeah, I was gonna say if we're gonna drive an hour and a half down there, do the hour and a half down there, bomb around down there.
There is an option, like there is a way I can connect that trail to another trail that heads like we could basically drive that hour and a half on the highway south. The trail is called Elephant Hill.
Okay.
If you're listening and you know Moab, he showed me some videos, pictures. Really cool trail. Relatively easy. He said he did the whole trail in like 3 hours or something like that. But he's on 40s, so take that or leave it. But he, there's a way you can connect that to Chicken Corners.
Oh.
Which is another like super, like a mild to easy, super scenic trail. And I'm like, damn, that would be cool. What I don't know is depending on the property that you're on, like overnight camping isn't always allowed.
Yeah.
So I gotta put that filter on the map and see if
it's private property or not.
And not so much private, but like basically, I think it was anything within 20 miles of Moab. There's no overnight camping.
Okay.
What are you doing down there? So there's like certain designated areas of the parks. So like there's areas of the park that camping is allowed, but not the entire park.
Okay. So there's certain areas that allow dispersed camping.
Yeah. So like I want to say like the Moab tourism website had a good like map area of like where you can or can't camp, or you have to camp in the designated BLM campgrounds, which are, I mean, they're still primitive camping, but they're legit campgrounds. It's $10 for the campsite, first come first
sites,
serve,
if you will.
Yeah, and they're all grouped together, so like you're not going to be dispersed.
Yeah.
On your own camping,
which is the best camping.
Yeah. So, like, the campsite I have marked for our one overnight trip was courtesy of our friends over at F-Bomb.
Okay.
And Brandon sent me a couple waypoints that he's got marked. He hasn't actually been to them yet, he said, but I forget what one of the YouTuber people, like, had, like, shared a waypoint file.
I might reach out to White Dog. White Dog's my favorite YouTuber right now, White Dog Overland. And see what he has to say about Moab.
Yeah, I mean,
upset.
Oh, okay, hang on.
We're gonna take a baby pause.
Stand by. Sorry about that. We're back.
All right, we're back. The baby has been taken care of.
Well, mostly.
Kind of. He'll start crying again here in a little bit.
No, we get at least 20 minutes out of this.
Perfect. So who's all coming?
So officially, right now, there's 7 people, 4 Jeeps.
Okay.
Me driving the shop Jeep, PJ towing his Jeep out.
Yep.
Travis bringing his Jeep, and then AK bringing his Jeep. And then you, Trevor, and Travis's buddy Matt
Are passengers.
Okay. Couple maybes. Marshall, Kerry's brothers, are going to end up probably coming out Thursday night from Denver.
Just for a few nights.
Yeah. He can't do the whole week off of work, which
understandable.
Yeah, understandable. So, which actually works out really well because I officially signed up for the easy trails with the rock crawler event, which starts Friday. Just because I figure it's the end of the week, we'll get plenty of good trails in, and
break your shit early so that we can fix it.
Exactly.
Hit the easy trails and drive home.
Yeah, exactly. So I have us like starting kind of heavy and then just getting easier as the week goes on. But after talking to Martin, I think we'll be able to do more trails than I have mapped currently.
Yeah, so I have got no reference for trail length out there. Like, I know trail length here is like, hey, I'm gonna hit a trail. It's like 1,000 yards and you're off the trail. Yeah, if even that. Like, but that's also comparable to like I consider four wheeling a lot like skiing and snowboarding.
Sure.
Like trails, snowboarding trails here, very short.
Yep.
If you go out west, you're on that trail for 30 minutes. What a trail that. Yeah, trails out there are 30 minutes. Trails here are 5 minutes. I imagine that translate off-roading too.
Yeah, I think there's a part of that. So there's a lot of good info. Like I've been using Onyx because pretty much all of Moab is featured trails.
Yeah.
So like you can just click on that trail, it gives you the name, pictures. It's already mapped out for you. They've got the mileage and like expected or average time.
That's nice.
The problem I think I'm running into is the expected time. I think they're factoring in the ATV crowd because like it's the same mapping for ATVs and for Jeeps, and all those trails, most of those Jeep trails are also open for ATVs and side-by-sides. There are some ATV side-by-side trails that aren't open to Jeeps, but that's just a size issue more than anything. So like
do they register as faster since they're ATVs and
no, I think slower. Like anything that's a rock trail that's got an obstacle.
Okay.
I think the ATVs are slower through that because I think they're just thinking smaller tires, smaller wheelbase. It's harder to climb a lot of these steps and rock waterfalls and like a lot of those normal obstacles that Moab has.
Yeah.
Because like if I watch the YouTube videos, like the Story Till Now has a good one of one of the like trail complexes I've got us map doing is Poison Spider to Golden Spike to Rusty Nail, Gold Bar Rim. Like there's a bunch of different routes and some of them are harder than others. But the Story Till Now's got a video. It's a group of YouTubers and they talk about how it took them 12 hours to do that chunk.
Okay.
But then I've also seen videos where people are like, oh, we did that in 6 hours. So it's like, all right.
It just depends on how fast you want to bomb and how aggressive you want to be. And I think it's also group size. If you got 7 people going over an obstacle, it's going to take
longer.
A lot longer.
And then like their whole group is YouTubers. They're doing all the drone footage. Like you're watching the video, so how many times they had to stop, set up a camera, whatever. Yep. So I'm like, all right, if it took them 12 hours, they're doing like a pretty high production. Like Story Till Now does some high production videos, and like if it took them 12 hours to do all that. Realistically, we could probably do it in 8 or less.
Yeah. As a group of YouTubers, too, it's not just one person have to stop and get in the shot. It's everyone, because it's a ton of unique shots. Like, everyone takes their own footage.
Yeah,
so it takes that much
longer.
They're
at one of the overlooks, and, you can tell all 4 of them are flying a drone. So, that's at least a half-hour stop for them to get all their drone footage and all that. So, I'm like, all right, I think that's a perfect full day, no matter how you look at it. Like, if we start that early enough, like my hope for that day is we start that trail at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, wake up early, get a good breakfast, run basically the hardest rock trails of the trip that we're going to do. That will lead us to the campsites that Brendan sent me.
Yep.
And then we can camp, get into camp by sunset, have a good dinner, camp for the night.
Lots of beer.
And then I've got a 30-mile route from that campsite back home.
Okay.
And that it runs a bunch of county dirt roads and stuff. So, like, that in theory would be a pretty quick trail. And that was talking to Martin. He's like, anything that's a county road is going to be a pretty flat, smooth dirt road that like you can bomb if you wanted to, which actually might work out good because I was only going to run half of 7 Mile Rim. Like the county roads connect to 7 Mile Rim, which can be done as a loop if you play your cards right.
Yeah, I think you sent me the file of it being a loop. You're like, this is what we could do, but it's super long.
Maybe. I don't remember. But it's like we can either do that as a loop or we can do it how I have, like, depending on the time, do it how I have mapped. And then I have a bunch of, like, other, like, shorter trails marked as, like, bonus trails.
Yeah.
That we can, like, hop on the highway. And then in 45 minutes, we're at the next trail, which takes 2 hours to run. And then 2 hours back.
That's
back
how
to the house.
So I'm going on a trip next weekend, which is going to be last weekend, Future Past. With Jed and hopefully Sean and my wife and sister-in-law and her boyfriend. And planning it's a lot of pre-mapped route, but then I have a bunch of those little spurs too, where like, hey, if we make good time, we can jump off, go hit this trail, come back, and still be in camp for dinner or still be home by this time. That's a good way to plan is if you're moving a little quick, unintentionally moving quick, then you can add more shit to your route. Yeah, agreed. I think, and I think there's just so much there that like we may end up being like, oh shit, we got like 2 hours to kill. What's in the area, and just go find a trail for a couple hours, or like,
oh, we have 2 hours to kill. There's really nothing we want to do. But
that's always when you break shit. Oh shit, we got nothing to do. Let's go find a trail and break our garbage.
The nice thing is, like,
we're 30 hours away from home.
Like, one thing I want to do probably at like the end of April, early May, before we go on this trip, is I want to get everybody together at the shop. 1, to prep the Jeeps. 2, just to figure out like who's bringing what, because like there's no reason for us to all bring tools.
No.
Right. So like I can load up my Jeep with tools and stuff to fix Jeeps and spare parts and all that, because they're all literally everybody's got a JK.
Yeah.
All well except for
not
PJ, but PJ will have his truck, so he can bring all of his own spare parts. But like we're gonna have 3 JKs, so 1 spare drive shaft can literally cover the whole group. Or, you know.
Oh yeah, I did my drive shaft yesterday. My red Zeppo was fucked.
Oh yeah,
dude, it's clicking, clacking. The boot was ripped.
Yeah,
I put it in 4-wheel drive. Just drove around the yard. I'm like, this feels a lot better, and it's not clicking anymore. Yep. Shout out to Adams.
Yep.
Get yourself an Adams drive shaft. Use code DirtDrive. Save yourself some money.
Not a sale, but a sale.
Well, no, that's definitely an ad. Definitely a plug.
Ad. Yeah,
we love Adams though.
It's not even if we didn't have the discount code and the affiliateship. We would be saying the same thing, which is why it's not an ad. It's an ad, but it's not an ad, because like I think we were saying that before we were obligated to say something.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the nice thing about having 3 of literally the exact same Jeep. We've got, because yours is lifted 3.5.
Yeah, officially 3.5. I just put new rear spring. Well, Devin put the new rear springs in it for us. Yesterday.
Travis is 4.5.
Travis is 2.5.
2.5. I thought it was bigger than that.
No, we're all going to be 2.5, 3.5, 35s. Maybe
all short arm.
Yeah,
it's literally the exact same Jeep, except for your.
I'm gonna do 37s. I just don't know if I'm gonna get them before the trip.
Yeah.
Because
money.
$1,800 in tires is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
When there's like 1,000 other things I want to do to the Jeep. But beside the point. Yeah, I mean, like I'm keeping it relatively stock friendly just for the sheer fact that I don't want to spend the week fixing Jeeps.
That's never fun.
Yeah, like I said, that day, that Poison Spider, Gold Bar Rim, Golden Spike, they call it the trifecta. That area is probably going to be the hardest wheeling we do.
That's a good idea though, of splitting up tools and equipment, necessary tools and equipment between the 3 Jeeps. Like someone carry hand tools.
Yep.
Someone carries the electric tools, and someone carries the jack, the bottle jack, the high lift jack, or whatever.
We know, so like,
and all the tires match, all the wheels match.
Exactly.
So
we all have basically. If one person gets a flat, like okay, like that's the like spare, but it's not necessarily the end of the day because you're gonna have 2 more spares between the group. So I like there and it's Moab, like parts and repairs and
all right there
are gonna be readily available. Like I'm not overly concerned about a lot of that stuff, especially because they're JKs. Like I would imagine the O'Reillys and Moab is probably well stocked.
It's just got like
JK
3 or 4
JL parts,
full JK parts across the shelf.
Yeah, you probably build a JK out of that O'Reilly's auto parts.
That'd be pretty funny, except for the frame and body.
Yeah, and maybe some of the stuff that's dealer only. But I'm pretty sure when I was perusing the map, there's a Chrysler dealer in Moab somewhere.
Well, Leah also hooked me up with some. I messaged her. I'm like, hey, we're going out to Moab. Who should we talk to? And she sent the name of a shop that she wanted us to talk to, and like some like another person. So we know we have contacts out there if our stuff breaks of having a decent shop nearby.
The guy that did both their buggy chassis, Fabin 801, isn't he Moab?
I don't know.
I think he is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Or at least he's in that relative area. But yeah, I mean, I'm not. Breakdowns are like the least of my concerns. Like I said, it's just a time thing. I don't want to waste the week out there fixing a Jeep. Small shit, if we, getting a tire patched or, having to swap an oil pan in or something like that. Because I think AK is going to be the only one with skid plates or like full skids. I've been on the fence on if I'm going to
throw some skid plates on.
Yeah, I think
skid plates are the next big thing I do on my Jeep.
Yeah. Yeah,
because I'm happy with the height. I just got my drive shaft in.
Yeah,
like I think skid plates are the next big important thing.
Yeah, the thing I've been trying to figure out, like with the trails we're running, like I don't necessarily. I mean, they're obviously they're always high on the priority list, but I think because there's such big smooth rocks out there, like as opposed to what we're used to here.
I also think that we've been lucky here. I dented an oil pan one time.
Yeah,
that's literally the only underside damage I've had. I've landed a drive shaft on a rock, but
I agree. I think we've been very lucky in the sense that we've all been fortunate to not make the mistake. Like
the dancing fruit on the TV
it's
just keeps getting me.
Yeah, it's great. It gets him all the time, which is the important part.
We're keeping Tommy entertained so he doesn't start whining in the middle.
If any of you have young kids, you're probably familiar with the Hey Bear Dancing Fruit Baby Sensory YouTube channel.
It's pretty good.
It's great. Honestly, the music makes it. Like it's good jams. Nice. Like I came home the other day and he was in here just chilling, watching, and Carrie's like bopping to the music while she was making dinner.
Nice. Where were we? I got distracted.
Yeah, I know. ADD's a bitch.
Multiple Jeeps going the same way. Skid plates.
I feel like the rocks we're used to here are slick. Like they're actually slippery. Yeah. Like they're not called slick rock like it is in Moab where there's traction.
Where it's sandpaper.
But like we have like jagged, relatively small boulders. Again, this stuff it's not that it doesn't exist in Moab, it's just the stuff we're running, like these are harder step type obstacles that aren't like sticking up.
It's not moving, it's not going to shift on you.
You're not going to get, at least from the videos I'm watching, the pictures I've seen, the research I've done, and like just knowing the area and the terrain, like yeah, if you can screw up and crush your oil pan, but like I think we've learned how not to do that pretty successfully. Like we have a good track record there, which means I'm sure we're going to end up smashing an oil pan.
Unless you're my XJ.
Yeah.
Which I never fixed the oil pan on.
Yeah, but the XJs, the 4-liter, it's low-hanging fruit. On the JKs, the oil pans are tucked up underneath, like they're above the axle. Like it's hard to hit a JK oil pan.
We just fucked ourselves.
Yeah, I know. Someone's going to take like a log through the radiator and
for
like
real.
But yeah, I mean, like it's going to be a really good time. There's so much to explore. There's no bad view anywhere in the.
I don't think I'm mentally prepared for what's going to happen. Like,
you've never been there.
I've never seen it. I've never like the most Red Rock area I've ever seen is just outside of Vegas. Like coming through the Colorado River with the dam. What the fuck is that dam called? The Hoover Dam?
The Hoover Dam. I mean, with the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of the same style views as going to the Grand Canyon. The scale is not there like it is at the Grand Canyon. Like that's like I think that for me going to the Grand Canyon and having been to Moab and like living in that area, I was just like, holy shit, that's how big this is.
But
like
for me, it's the unending vastness, and the Grand Canyon, there's a defined edge of it. Like you can see the other side.
Yeah.
When you're standing atop something and you can see
in Moab,
cool things forever.
Forever, yeah. That's what Moab is, and like that whole area is.
And it's very like Appalachian height mountains. It's nothing super high.
Yeah,
it's like the elevation change isn't more than 1,000 feet.
I can look this up because I have it marked so I can easily find it on Onyx. I want to say like. So I have Top of the World marked as a bonus trail, and I want to say Top of the World, like that overlook at Top of the World, is like 7,000 feet.
Yeah, but from elevation change from where the house is, it's probably not that big of a difference.
The high point on Top of the World is 7,054 feet. Our elevation for the Airbnb.
I got it right here.
Onyx for your waypoints.
Elevation for the Airbnb is
46.
Yeah, so
it's
a little more extreme than Appalachia, but actually not too much. No, not at all.
Well, no. So our starting point is as high as the highest point in the Blue Ridge.
But I'm saying the overall elevation. So we're starting at 4,600 feet.
Have a 3,000
foot change, and that's what I'm planning for next weekend. Is about 3,000 foot of change over the weekend.
It's so much different though.
Yeah,
like I don't. It's the lack of trees.
But what I'm saying is it's the same type of elevation change in the landscape.
No.
So it's 3,000 feet of elevation change.
No,
up and
but
down.
that's what I'm saying is like when we're like, if you're cruising the Blue Ridge and we're running these trails, you don't even realize you've gone up 2,000 feet in elevation. You're climbing a gradual hill, and you're in the woods, and you get to the top, and you go, damn, that's a really cool view. Out there, you're driving shelf roads that are
cool
1,000 feet off the ground, and you're going, please don't fall off. And then you turn up on top of the plateau, and you're like, oh shit, we're up here. And there's no trees, so you're watching yourself go up the whole time. Like this is desert. Like you're not in the woods and then appearing on top of a mountain. You're on literally the face or the edge of that mountain the whole time.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, if we can go get like forest, green, snowy mountain. Like that's the part that makes Moab so unique is you have like the Canyonlands Arches area, which is all that red rock and the big monument style rock formations and everything. But all you have to do is head east a little bit and you're in the LaSalle Mountains. So like that route that PJ and Trevor and I did into Gateway, where I used to live, like you literally go from Red Rock into the forest. And like I mapped that road on
for going home or something.
No, just to have it on here because I can follow the map. Like I know the turns, I know the roads, so I have it marked on my Onyx already.
Nice.
I mean, if we had more time, like I would honestly say if we weren't doing the rock crawler event. Because
which I'm excited for. I'm really very excited for that. I've never done. I guess the biggest event I've ever done is crawling for cops, which was 400 Jeeps.
Yeah,
but I mean, this is probably going to be about the same. I'm assuming. I may be completely wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I have not really seen much. I don't know.
But I just assume every West Coast event is a big event.
Let's see what.
And Moab isn't like. It's like an EJS event, but it's not just Jeeps.
Yeah.
It'll be other cool things.
Where's their Facebook event? Events. There it is. Well, I don't know how accurate this is, but according to their Facebook, there's 74 people going, 287 people interested. So it sounds like it might be
it sounds like maybe a small event, which would be cool because there's going to be some. Yeah, I don't know if the big names in the industry, but there'll be some cool people from the industry to meet.
Yeah, there. I mean, there's some other sponsored companies. I think like Revolution Gear's involved. Next Venture Motorsports is involved. Savvy Off-Road's involved. I think Nitto is involved.
There's always got to be a tire sponsor.
Yeah, I really have no. What's the word I'm looking for? Expectation for what the event is other than some guided trail rides.
Yeah.
Which I think is the cool part because it's like we can still do whatever we want. But yeah, like
then we'll have cool people to hang out and drink beer with after the event.
Right. Yeah, because probably by Thursday, Friday we'll be sick of each other.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
We were pretty good with Vegas.
Solid group. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we had more time, like I'd definitely go further out of Moab to explore.
I don't think we'll get there eventually. I think.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a ton to explore on the East Coast, but there's a ton more to explore on the West Coast, and I definitely want to spend more time out there. I was texting Jed this morning. I'm like, we were talking about camping next weekend, last weekend, future past, and I'm like, he sent me a video about Baja. I'm like, oh shit, we got to go to a Baja at some point.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, let's do the Mint 400 first. But there's like the amount of motorsport out there is
it's because there's the open space, the place. There's plenty of place to go fast. Yeah, I would definitely like to do the Mint 400. I think that would probably be outside of SEMA, like one of the only other things you could get me to go to Vegas.
It was so much cooler. It was so much cooler than SEMA.
Well, yeah,
I saw the Vegas side of the Mint 400. I didn't go down to Prim,
right?
But I saw the Vegas side of the Mint 400, and it was so much cooler than anything at SEMA.
Yeah, I don't know. SEMA is such a specific thing, and like if you're not there for that specific, as much as people make it a car show, for me it was never. It's not about the car show.
It's an industry.
Yeah, and that's like I want to try and do more of them this year. Like I would love to do Expo West.
Yeah,
because that's in Flagstaff, and like that's the Grand Canyon. Like I would love to go back and explore that part of Arizona,
especially with some of the contacts we have at Expo and the contacts that we have that we'll know will be there.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, we want to go explore, and they're like, oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We'll definitely go explore.
Yeah, that's.
So we're planning on going to Moab. 2 days to Moab. We're literally just gonna cruise shot it.
We're gonna leave here
straight, but it's
Sunday
straight
morning. Yeah, it's 29 hours. So leave here Sunday morning. Ideally, not stop. And if we do end up stopping, like quick 4 to 6 hour.
Yeah, just like it did for Vegas.
Yeah, to be in Moab around noon
on Monday,
which would give us enough time to get in, grocery shop, settle into the Airbnb, relax for an afternoon, get a good night's sleep. Tuesday morning, Cane Creek,
okay,
which is a longer, mild trail. Depending on how much rain it's had, it's either super wet, sloppy, fun, or like small creek crossings and a bunch of obstacles. So I'm like, that sounds like a solid day.
And then home, just whatever we're doing.
Yeah, and then like that day, I've got 2 potential bonus trails marked for that day, because like that's another one that's anywhere from 4 to 8 hours, and I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the weather, because it's literally like the creek zigzags through the trail. There's like 30 water crossings on it, so it should be a good time.
Jed would love that.
Yeah, and then. And then back to the house Wednesday morning, leaving on the 2-day, the overnight. So running the hardest rock trail, camping, essentially overlanding our way back. 7 Mile Rim is supposed to be super scenic. You like wrap around a bunch of the big rock formations and you're basically driving right up to them. So it's like super good pictures and cool shit like that. Like PJ's going to have a serious photography boner all week.
And hopefully we get some other content out of it too. You have your gimbal. I bought my gimbal.
AK's got 2 drones.
AK's got 2 drones. Like, hopefully we can find it in us to do something for video. At least get one video out of the trip.
I mean, it may even just be like artistic, just like jumbled together clips.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be cool either way. Tommy's in. Tommy's all about the artistic clips.
Definitely lots of podcasts. I'd like to do a bunch. Not overwhelm ourselves, but like.
I don't necessarily want to like make it a podcast trip to get podcasts done. I just kind of want to.
But if we meet cool people, we can.
Yeah.
That's my idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should be prepared to do it, but I kind of want to just like enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I'm super excited. And then what? Coming back to Virginia would take 2 days, or are you planning on bombing back to Virginia?
No, I figure we're gonna basically stay until leave on Sunday, and everybody can kind of do their own thing on Sunday driving home. Travis is very concerned about the bombing thing for whatever reason.
I mean, I get it. He's an old man.
The only reason I don't is he's done 19-hour drives straight through to Miami. And his reasoning that he doesn't want to do that now is because it's in his Jeep versus his wife's Kia.
I mean, I get that.
Yeah, but it's like, but you're going to have a buddy. You don't have to drive the whole thing. We're going to be having fun. Like, we all have radios.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a really good time. And I do agree, like, the overnight gets difficult. But as we learned, some smelling salts and some iced coffee, that's all you need.
Straighten you right up. Get some Gearhead iced coffee.
That's what I'm saying.
Hell yeah.
I think, like I said, I honestly think we can make Denver easily. So, like, worst comes to worst, if we roll into a motel at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
in
crash
Denver,
for 4 or 5 hours.
Crash, basically power nap it. Denver to Moab 6 hours. So it's like cool. We're still there Monday after. Like, in order to get the most out of the trip, we have to be there before dinner time Monday.
Yeah. That way we can do our grocery shopping and get ready for wheeling on Tuesday.
Yeah, because like the things we have
prep the Jeeps, make sure everything's good after 30 hours of driving.
Right. So like there's going to be all that move-in process. Like we have to because like Tuesday, it would be great if we could do a full day of wheeling on Tuesday. That like get a company to everything, get settled, get comfortable, and then not have to scramble Wednesday morning for the overnight camping trip.
Yeah.
Like if we can just wheel all day Tuesday, go back to the house, throw the tent, sleeping bags, and chairs in the Jeep, and then go to bed, and then wake up Wednesday morning and we're out the door.
Out.
Like that, to me, that's ideal. As much as Moab has to offer and like hanging out at breweries and restaurants and stuff downtown.
That's not where we're going there. We can hang out in brewery restaurants here.
Well, I figure we figure we'll get some of that with the Rock Crawler group later in the week.
Yeah.
So it's like I just want to get to a point where by Friday I'm like, yeah, we don't need to do a bonus trail. Let's go have a beer.
Yeah. And I think we'll be there. I think that's a lot of wheeling and a lot of time in a vehicle.
Yeah. Which is why I want to hit it heavy.
Friday and Saturday will be hanging out around town,
Yeah.
experiencing what Moab has to offer as civilization.
Yeah. Yeah, the last thing I want to do is leave Sunday going, damn, we didn't get to this trail.
Yeah. Yeah, because we spent too much time.
Yeah. Yeah, I figure if we can hit like every green and blue trail in Moab in a week, that'll be pretty solid.
That seems a little.
It's not as hard as you think, because that's like a lot of the trails, like the hard named.
Oh, like the actual named.
The
trails.
named trails are pretty short. It's where they are in relation to where you're going. So like you just have to be smart about how you do it. Like Martin was saying, he did Elephant Hill and Top of the World in one day. And I'm like, if you look at them on the map, they could not be further apart and still be considered Moab. Like, Top of the World is northeast of downtown. Elephant Hill is southwest of downtown.
Wild.
And he did both of those trails in a 12-hour day. Or maybe it was a 14-hour day, he said. Which, that's a long-ass day.
It is.
But it's doable. So it's just a matter of what our pace is, figuring out when we get there, comfort level, Like there's definitely going to be some obstacles. So there's going to be some spotting. I would not be surprised if the winches come out. Like we're not just going to run dirt.
Yeah,
roads
we're going to have to do the designated spotter. We're going to have one guy in the group that does most of the spotting.
Yeah.
So that way we're not hollering across each other. Like that'll be part of our meeting at the shop where we figure out logistics of who's doing what, who's driving.
I think
if I'm driving, you got to be spotting. And
I think the nice thing is like, because if we all have a co-pilot, like that's going to make it easy. Right, like you're gonna have a 30-hour drive to get to know your co-pilot and understand the communication side of it.
If we don't all know each other that well by now,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'm not like that kind of stuff. I'm not worried about because like, well, it's not like this isn't our first off-roading we've ever done. Right, it's just different than what we're used to. And like I've been out there, I have an idea of what we're gonna expect. I don't know the trails that well. I never wheeled the trails that hard. But again, I know the terrain well enough that like...
Yeah, I think for...
We'll be fine.
Everyone else, it'll be a big learning curve for traction and terrain. At least that first Tuesday will be...
Hot take. Like, middle of the summer, humid Virginia day take.
Like middle of a drought?
No. I think this is good. Yeah. I think the wheeling is going to be easier than everyone's expecting.
Like drought wheeling, like in Virginia, where everything's just super traction-y.
I'm just using that as my description of how hot the take is going to be.
Oh, okay.
I think it's going to be easier than everyone expects.
Oh yeah, no, I think the amount of traction is ungodly.
Yeah.
And you're going to be more worried about breaking things and getting over obstacles.
A lot of it's going to be mental. A lot of it's going to be I don't want to fall off this cliff shelf road.
There's no tree to stop me.
This is way high up off the ground. Like I don't think the cliffs are going to be any higher than anything we've seen before. But
the fact that it's sheer face and no tree.
It's sheer face. There's no tree. You can see
for 24 hours. 24 hours. If you looked at the topo.
Yeah, we were on some good shelf roads.
Yeah. And like.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night where you couldn't see down.
Doing 40 miles an hour.
They'll be the same shelf roads. They'll just be in the middle of the day with no trees.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I think the actual obstacles that we'll encounter, like you're going to come up to it and be like, what the fuck? And then you're going to drive it and be like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Like there's a good one in the videos. There's one called Launchpad. And it's like,
I'll have to explore some Moab YouTube when I get home.
Launchpad is going to be crazy intimidating, but it's like a 4 low and just crawl scenario. And like, it's because the rocks have so much traction. It's like that same obstacle in Virginia would literally be impossible because you just don't have the traction.
The rocks are smooth. It's going to be wet. There's going to be mud.
Yeah.
Not out there.
Not out there.
It's just silty sand.
Just,
maybe silty sand and a lot of hard.
Well, so that's the unique part about Moab is like you get silty sand, you get rock, and you get mud depending on where you are in the area. So like that's like we're gonna get all of it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
But cool, guys. Thank you for listening. Make sure you go like and subscribe and follow. If you leave a review, please leave a review. If you leave a review and send it to me, and follow. If you leave a review and send it to me at the Dirt Drive, I will send you a sticker pack. We appreciate you. Follow us everywhere social at the Dirt Drive, DirtNerds Motors, DirtNerds Offroad. Oh, I don't know what else. What else, Tom? We don't have any. I didn't put out.
If you've been to Moab,
oh yeah, send us.
And
send us
you
stuff.
have some suggestions. I mean, I've got a lot marked already, but I am always up for like first world reviews of things, like stuff you've actually done, or think we should do.
Because we're completely flexible on what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We've got nothing set in stone except for the rock.
We have a plan, and I can almost guarantee you by Monday night when we're still not in Moab, I've thrown out the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm just being honest.
Oh yeah, I expect that. So my trip in a week, I've got it set up and prepared, but I know as soon as I get there, I'm gonna want to change something. It's just always how these trips work. Is you're like, because you just keep doing you set it up, you keep doing research, you find more things.
Yeah, I also envision. I envision that comfort learning curve taking a little longer, which is kind of also why I want to start hard. Because if we start hard, everything's going to be easy after that.
Yeah, it's kind of how when we used to guide.
Yes, I was probably showing. This is the launch pad thing that I was just talking about.
Oh yeah, it looks steep. But yeah, just like when we used to guide at the Cove, we would start out with something hard. Yeah. To kind of everyone get a feel for something.
And then you're having fun for the rest of the day because you're like, oh, this is way easier than what we just did. Which is why, like I said, that's Launchpad.
That's pretty sweet.
No, I mean, like
35, 40 degrees.
I think it's probably steeper than that. They do the in truck. But like,
it's just all sky.
But it's cool because it's like you could see exactly where everybody's going.
You know right where the traction's at.
Right. Like and like with sound, like there's no spinning. You're not like going up this hill. You're just driving straight up it. And it's just all sky. And
I'm super excited.
Yeah. It's like it's not that tall. It's 15, 20 feet maybe. So it's relatively short and it's smooth at the top. And like thankfully because of these videos, we know what's on top. So you know what I mean?
We know it levels out. Yeah. You're not going to start going straight down.
Like I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly from watching this video, this guy's on 35s. This is a stock suspension Rubicon on 35s.
Yeah. But if you're out in Moab, if you're going to be out in Moab, shoot us a message. We'd love to meet up with you. What else? And
I mean, if you want to come out for Moab for the week, that's fine.
Yeah, shoot us a message.
We'll be there. Like if you are fortunate enough like us to get 10 days off of work,
especially like me just getting a new job.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
It's the same boss. It's just
same boss, and this was planned well before the position.
Exactly.
So,
cool guys. I appreciate you listening. We will see you next week with we're spinning the wheel of DirtNerd next week. So we'll see you.
Doing it?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have some fun guests. All right, guys. We will talk to you later.
Adios. Are you enjoying this podcast? Do you want more ridiculousness from the Dirt Nerds? Check out DirtNerdsOffroad.com. It'll link to all of our social media, as well as our YouTube page, and you can pick up some sweet merch to help support the podcast and other adventures.